Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a Tower of Dawn review, and now I tried to do this review last week, but I just could not really get my thoughts together, and so I just deleted the whole video. I didn't really want to post it, but I still decided I wanted to share my thoughts for Tower of Dawn, so here I am on a different day trying to get this video done. This whole video will be full of spoilers because it's the 6th book in Sarah J Maas's Throne of Glass series, so if you have not read any of these books, please do not watch this video because you will definitely be spoiled. I'm going to be talking about this book and all the previous books as well. I want to start off by saying that I did give this book 4.5 stars, and now the only reason that I docked it half of a star was because I just really didn't like the character of Nesryn, and it wasn't so much her character, it was more her storyline, and there wasn't anything super horrible about her storyline, but I just did not connect with it. I did not have any interest in reading what Nesryn was doing with her life and what she was going off doing and adventuring, but I just cared so much more about Chaol and Yrene that any time that was taken away from Chaol and Yrene, I just didn't like. So unfortunately, I did not like it when we switched to Nesryn's perspective, just because I loved Chaol and Irene's story so much more, and I don't know if anyone else agreed with me on that, but I couldn't help it. That's the only reason that I had to dock half of a star for it. If this book had been all Chaol and Yrene, I'm pretty sure I would have given it 5 stars. So what I really enjoyed about Tower of Dawn that made it different from the other books in the series was I felt like this book took a step back, but not in a bad way, in a relaxing way, and in a way that just kind of let a story unfold in front of us. I feel like with the other books, it had been so go, go, go. There's battle scene after battle scene. There's a lot of plot building, a lot of new characters getting added, and this felt like a simple, or a more simple story. It was Chaol and Yrene, and they had a goal. They were going to heal Chaol, and I loved that their story was built around that idea and how it kind of grew from there. I love that Yrene and Chaol together both learned something in the healing. Yrene was letting go of her hate for the Adarlan men, and Chaol was of course coming to terms with the shame and all the guilt that he put on himself for so many years, and he was letting it go. So it went much more beyond the physical, and I loved how that was a metaphor for them growing and for their relationship that it soon developed into. Also, I'm a huge sucker for any hate to love type of romance, and that is how Chaol and Yrene started off. I knew, all right, they hate each other. I'm ready for this. I'm here for this. Let me let this ship sail because my heart's already there, even though they despise each other when it first started. But I was so excited because I knew that they were going to make something beautiful out of the mess that both of their lives actually were. I also just really like the element of healing, and I love how magic played a role in this element, but it also was more than magic. It was like a mental, a spiritual healing, and a physical healing. It was just all types of healing kind of wrapped into one, and I think Sarah J Maas did an excellent job with it. Now, I do have to say, on the point of magic used in this book, it's a confession, really. I feel like I get completely lost whenever Sarah J Maas starts talking about magic. I don't really know what she does, but it almost turns into this weird metaphor, and it gets very confusing. For example, when Yrene finally heals Chaol's back, she goes into his back. I don't know. It is just a little bit hard for me to follow Sarah J Maas when she's describing magic, because magic, although it's not a realistic thing, I think a lot of authors talk about magic in a realistic, concrete way so that it's comprehensible what's actually occurring, but Sarah J Maas doesn't really talk about magic in a concrete way. Maybe everyone else gets what's happening in those scenes. I'm honestly kind of lost whenever a healing, magical something starts happening. So moving on to the end of the story, we have a huge revelation that Queen Mauve is actually Queen of the Valg, and she's kind of been hiding from the other Valg kings for all of these years, and our minds are just collectively blown by that bomb that dropped, because I knew Mauve was bad and evil. I had no clue. I did not see it coming that she was going to be one of these evil of evilest demons. That just honestly shook me. Nobody else knows. That's the crazy thing, I think. They are off, Chaol and Yrene and Nesryn and Salik or whatever, and they're discovering these world-shattering things, and they have not yet told the rest of the people. So I really like how this end, it did kind of bring it back to the rest of the series. It felt like the first part of the book, which I loved, this is what I loved about it, but it was like we were taking a vacation from the rest of the Throne of Glass series, and at the end it kind of brought it all back together. It kind of got brought back to the main storyline, which I really did like. But honestly, now I'm sad that we are not going to have Chaol and Irene's perspective as our number #1 perspective in the next books, and I just want to read about Chaol and Irene forever and their perspectives during the war. Like, we don't really need to go back to Aelin and Rowan's perspectives. I think Irene and Chaol should just take their place. I know not many people probably agree with me on that, but I just loved their characters so much. Also, as a final thought, I'm just really curious how I don't know how to pronounce this, Khagan? Is that how it's pronounced? Like the guy, the king here in this country, how the Khagan and his children and how that empire is going to have an impact on the rest of the war, because already we're seeing these armies getting amassed. The naval, the army, and then the aerial fleet, they're all going to help with the fight. So I'm really curious how else they're going to play a role, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to fit in with the rest of our company, which is already pretty large at this point that we've kind of left in this book. But we're turning to Aelin and Rowan, Dorian and Manon, Lucian and Elaine, is that her name? There's just a lot of characters over there. We're gonna have a really big host of very different personalities and nationalities and just perspectives on how to fight a war. It's gonna be very, very interesting. So I'll end this video with a question. Did you like Tower of Dawn more than you liked the other books in the series? Because there has been a lot of discussion, a lot of people saying that Tower of Dawn has been their favorite book in the Throne of Glass series, and I don't know if I could exactly say that, but it's definitely one of my favorites if I haven't decided yet if it is my favorite. So I really, really loved it, and I'd love to hear why or why not it is now your new favorite, or if there's still another one that you liked more. So let's just have a Throne of Glass discussion in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and happy reading.